We're back and COVID-free from Gencon 2026, and we're here to bring you all of the things that we saw, we loved, and we're excited to share with you as we march towards the rest of the year. This is Champions of Tabletop. Dillon, let's get at our Gencon best of list, buddy.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All that I got will never stop. I give it all. Straight to the top, will never stop. I give it all. All that I have, I let it be. Cause nobody's better than me. What do you see? Give it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Good gaming champions. Welcome to our post Gencon 2026 recap video. This is the best of that we saw at Gencon 2026. And if you notice, it's just me and Dillon today. No Dion. Dion, as a retail store owner, I think he hates everything about Gencon, but we loved it. We had a great time, and we're here to talk about the 10 games that we love the most with some extras and a little bit of love for those in the art side of the industry. Dillon, COVID-free, right?
COVID-free. Yeah, I came back unscathed. Felt chipper on the way back, so which is surprising when you're there. For folks that haven't been or have just seen, I mean, you are wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, front to back with people nonstop. And then all those people probably travel from planes. So you imagine the network effect of just contact. It's wild.
Exactly. And obviously we got some great video of the running of the nerds. And I've shown that to quite a few people when they say, oh, what's that? Board game convention? Like, does anybody go to that? And it's like, oh, you don't know, sweet summer child.
Yeah,
you have no idea.
I showed it to a few folks at work and to my wife, and they immediately were like, nope, not done that. Absolutely not. I'm like, it's really fun. Like, I will say the kind of running piece, not for me. Like that's too much. I get enough just walking in and out in the exhibitor hall. But I mean, it's a spectacle. Like, it truly is.
Well, and that's the thing that I wish. I've got a lot of people in my life who I keep saying, just go once, go check it out, because it is such a celebration, and it's all about community. It's all about enjoying things with the people that you love. Again, it's off the screen. And I'm looking forward to my kids getting a little bit older, where I think we might be able to take them for a day or so and have a good time. But for so many people, it's like, just go once, go experience it. Because when you see so many people loving the hobby, just something they're passionate about, right? Like, it's like the San Diego Comic Con. It's just like the fantasy football con that you went to for Huddle. And just when you're around so many people who are so passionate about something, even if you're not like really into it, it's hard not to get just sucked up into that vortex. And with board games, you can always find something that you can enjoy.
Yeah, you just get immersed in any of those community type of activities. And I think if you have a passion for or an interest in any type of experience, board games, you said, Comic-Con, fantasy football, I mean, crochet, like, go find that event and just go experience it, because you kind of get yourself in the nucleus of that community. And I think Gen Con is that, especially in the United States. I think, then if you want to go a step up from that, then you've got the whole Spiel experience, which I've never done. I don't know if I'll do, but it's just, Gen Con is very unique.
Well, that's a good time to remind people to definitely like and subscribe, because once we get partnered officially with YouTube at the 1,000 subscriber level, then that's a business write-off, Dillon. And, then we can
go to Essen.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right, baby. So make a dream come true. It costs you nothing. And hey, look at that celebration. I don't know why I keep doing this.
It's great.
So celebrate with us as we hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. We're going to have a little giveaway. We're going to have a little special celebration. We've worked really hard over the last 3 years to try to earn those subscribers, and we love your support. So definitely click those buttons. It mean a lot to us. So as we kind of get into this, we're going to go through more of our experience, because we had some great experiences, both at Gen Con and outside of Gen Con, including questionable decisions late at night. The fact that Dillon's alive today is also a little bit of success. So we're gonna have a special Gen Con recap video with Dillon where we're gonna walk through a lot of the videos and stuff, share some of the stories that we had, because we're lucky to still have Dillon. I'll just put it that way. That's a little bit of a tip for you for why to watch the next video.
I shouldn't have gotten that cap. Should not have gotten that cap.
But yeah, so we're gonna kick it off with what I always like to start with, which is the smaller side of Gen Con, which is the art. Every convention with board games, obviously it's about the board games, but there's such a huge community of people that support board games with their art, with their pictures, with their drawings, with their statues, with their printings. And it's always wonderful to kind of highlight some of those people who put a lot of skill into crafts that they bring that really support and help enhance the experience at these conventions. So we wanted to make sure that we gave some of that love. And I would be remiss if I didn't start with this beautiful Masters-esque hat that I'm wearing. Of course, it's got the green and white. And this is a big shout out to my friends Kyle and Justin from Capstone Games. I saw them wearing it. I was like, gosh, it looks like straight from the Masters golf tournament. And they're like, that was kind of the incentive. They're like, do you want one? And I was like, yes, all day. So got a couple compliments on it. So to Capstone, thanks for helping me look super fly today. Dillon, you could have got one if you had not left early, though. That's all I'll say about that.
Well, I was coming off of back-to-back weekend convention expos, so I didn't have it in me. I didn't have one more day in me.
Yeah,
Gencon 1, Dillon 0. There we go. So sleeping in your comfy bed, I was trying to sleep on a random circular table in the foyer of the Indianapolis airport. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely tell that story too, Dillon. The 3:30 a.m. text of "this was a bad idea."
Ugh,
so
just thinking about it makes me tired.
All right. A couple other things I want to highlight. Art. There was a company there, Dillon. Again, this is something that I saw after you were gone. A company called Artovision. I'm going to show a video here. My grandma, when I was a kid, used to make these amazing 3D shadow boxes where she would take similar prints of something like an owl or something, and she'd get like 8 or 9 prints of it, and she would feather them and layer them, and so by the time she stacked the prints, they looked almost lifelike. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for shadow boxes. And Artovision, go check out their website, because they've gotten into board game license products, and they're making these absolutely stunning 3D shadow boxes of board games, board game covers, board game art. And I almost pulled the trigger. I'm redoing my basement so I can use it as a studio for us. And I'll tell you what, if they get the right games, you're going to see some of their art in my background, because they look absolutely stunning. I wish you could have seen it, but the Root one looked amazing. Sleeping Gods, I almost bought that. Ryan Locker, he actually from Red Raven Games said that he'd be on our channel, and his Sleeping Gods one, which is just the cover of it, which is, I think, right behind me. Right there. It just looked absolutely stunning. Sorry, I sparked the beast, the lab here, so she got excited there for a second. So Artovision, go check them out. They're going to be adding a lot to their board game stuff, a lot of video game stuff as well. Another one I wanted to share before I get to one of yours, Dillon, was Brotherwise Games made Shelfie. So my daughter's 11. She's in the world of minigrams and mini this and squishy this and Nido this. And shame on me for not thinking of this, but Brotherwise, basically they miniaturized the board game hobby. So you get, and it was like $30 for the set I got, which came with, it's a mini IKEA Shelfie, and then it comes with like 5 or 6 board games. They're little itty bitty board games. So if you're familiar with minigrams, kids are obsessed with miniature stuff. And then they came with blind boxes, because kids absolutely obsessed over blind boxes. And so you would open it up and there'd be like 3 or 4 miniature little board games that you put on your little miniature IKEA shelf. And so, like I said, kids just love this stuff now. My daughter was super excited because she got the ultra rare Kemet, which was a holographic board game cover, which looked really cool. And those things were flying at Gen Con. I know Dion, I sent him a picture. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sell so many of these in my store. He's like, gimme. So I'm ticked at myself for not coming up with the idea first. So kudos to Brother Wise for hitting a home run where I failed. Dillon, you had one on the art side that we wanted to mention.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the typical category of artwork, but it's definitely artwork in my world, especially in competitive settings and kind of the fantasy sports world. And they're really making a headway the last couple of years into Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, which is Trophysmack. If you're not familiar, it's a business run by a gentleman called Matt. He's got a full team now. He's got quite a famous episode on Shark Tank. His personality is infectious, and he's just driven beyond all belief, and he's created a trophy business. And so most people will be like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but they completely re-engineered how trophies are made, and then have just brought over the top design, aesthetic, quality to like belts and chains and winners and losers trophies. I mean, they feed both sides of the spectrum. And so it was great. Like, we got to hang out with them a bunch and see some of the product and merch that they have. We're getting some. I sent it to my commissioners in my fantasy football league, so we're going to be getting ourselves customized belts. We probably could use a customized Champions of Tabletop belt for the channel. But
we were told we were getting one at Lucas Oil Field, just as a reminder.
We were a few fireball shots deep after that too, which is great. So yeah, like they do some really, really cool stuff, and they're like attention to detail. And again, like, I'm a big quality guy, and just you grab their belts and you're like, oh, okay. But like, that's what you want when you win a fantasy football championship, or you win your Magic the Gathering tournament, or kind of you've like won through this epic campaign in D&D, like having something to represent that achievement that is like as high quality as the effort that went into that thing, they really just kind of knock it out of the park. So that's really kind of my non-board game shout out from Gencon.
Yeah, and they had some rings there too, and their rings are ridiculously reasonably priced. I want to say they were like $70-$80 for some of the lower tier ones, and I mean, they put Johnston's to shame. Like, if you see them in person, they look like a championship ring. Now, obviously, they are the generic version of Cubic Zirconian, but man, like, those things are amazing. For my business, I'm thinking of doing a fundraiser, and I'm like, I may have them make some rings for the winner of for the tournament, just as like something different. And that's, like I said, great guys, want to see them succeed. So go check out Trophysmack. I got one. I got a show here because I feel like I had a little piece of the success of this. Sea Cow Labs, Flock Together, Outlaws in Time coming soon. All the rage. If you went to Gen Con, you saw one of these. Yes, you did. Chicken Bag from Flock Together. Sea Cow Labs, or Sea Cow Games. Dillon, did you get your bag?
No, I didn't. You got the bag before I got there. Matt was out of the bags. I'm not surprised. It's a great, what a great ancillary product to build off of your game, especially at a board game convention where containers, baggage is just a premium as you walk around. And then, I mean, brilliant marketing, brilliant advertising. It creeps me out how you tilt the head around. And now I know you want to go into the one update you would like Matt to make on the chicken bag. Proceed.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they did so much right with this. I mean, there's even little pockets for the wings. It's got little feet. But one of the things, Matt, and we've talked about this before with Sea Cow, Matt is one of the best game demoers ever. I think it's half the reason All Play picked them up was just because he's so good at what he does. They sell the chicken butt dice. So if you've ever been to a convention and you've talked to him, he's giving you a chicken butt dice. Smart marketing. I was like, there's no chicken butt. Well, why would you make a bag with no chicken butt? So version 2, if you get it, it's going to have a little red chicken butt. You're welcome. So, but my kids got this when I got home. Absolutely ecstatic. They've been fighting over it ever since. So, you know, if you're at a convention, just settle down. Settle down.
How you move that head around is so distracting.
It's not me, man. It's just the bag itself. So if you settle down. Okay. Whoa. Easy.
Have you named here?
So all right.
Have you named
Seek out games. Check it out. It's the chicken bag. Get yourself one if you can. So all right.
Have you named the chicken bag?
No, I haven't even seen it since I got back. Literally, my kids have fought each other over it. So last one I have, gosh, this is one of my favorite memories from Gen Con in the halls. There is a TikToker. His name is Tank. You can check him out. He looks, I think he's Norwegian. And his big thing is like positive self-health and encouraging people to go work out. And he does kind of a thematic thing around being Vikings and letting people in. And he's all about positivity in the health space. And so he brought hammers with him. That's his whole thing. So he was having just this impromptu pop-up event. We got there. We heard people screaming, having a good time. We went. I would have done it had it not been for a rotator cuff issue. But thankfully, Dillon stepped in. We got the video. And Dillon made it like 2 minutes and 40-some seconds holding very, very, I mean, they were probably light, but they looked heavy hammers.
They were heavy. You don't have to take that away from me.
I mean, they were like 5 pounds at least.
2.5 closer. No, it was a cool scene. They brought such positivity to getting folks way out of their comfort zone. I think, you know, that myself included, to stand up in front of a crowd of, I mean, they must have had at the peak, that was 50 people plus standing around. They actually had the event staff have to come and like clear the way because we basically taken over like one of the hallways. And for fire regulation, they literally needed to have this. But it was great. Like there was like a young brother sister combo that did a little competition to see who could hold it. They were holding out the hammers for like 3+ minutes. Their energy was infectious. It was great. And they just were really fun. They put on like a really, really fun side quest. And I think that's, you know, you think about Gen Con in general, the exhibit, like the board games are great. And that's the main event. But there is so much more to it that you can go experience. If you just go hunting around, like you just go wander and you'll find random experiences like that just add to the overall kind of memory that you get from these types of events.
Exactly. So I think that's all we kind of have for the art. Let's move on. You know, we've highlighted some cool stuff here. And again, when you go, there's so much that we didn't cover, so many artists, so many amazing things. I saw an ocarina from Legend of Zelda that was awesome. So these are the things, the little hidden things that you got to go to appreciate what a convention's all about. So with that, Dillon, we're here for board games. Let's get to it. Let's go to our top 10.
Let's go.
All right, Dillon, it's time now, buddy. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is a game folks may have heard of because they just have coming off of a monster Kickstarter. And the game is number 10 for a few reasons for me. It's called Elementary by Littlest Lantern. We got to spend some time with Aaron, who's the founder over there. He and I actually have quite similar stories in kind of the indie publishing. And I just kind of really resonated with that and loved the work that's gone into it and the success he's seeing. And then kind of we got to go down and funnily enough, Elementary was the first time I had heard about it. I know I apparently have been living under a rock, but seeing the game and getting to view the mechanics, just really kind of fun. You know, I think they call it like the cutest board game. It really is. Like, the artwork is adorable. I'll definitely bring this back to kind of my nephews, and like, this will be a great family game night. I couldn't actually imagine a better situation. So you're in an elementary school as these little kind of monster kids, and you're collecting snacks, and SNAX, and snacks become your currency, and you're kind of trading the snacks to get friends and do activities. And just what a fun little way to kind of introduce kids into a board game that's also relatable for them, but it's also teaching them a little bit about kind of economic currency and social currency. And so I love any game that's is geared towards helping kids with any type of educational kind of practice, and to bringing them into a kind of a board game situation. So you're bringing the family together and you're getting to play together off of screens. You know, my nephews love their iPads and Xbox, so anything that gets them to a table with mom and dad is going to be awesome. So, and Aaron was just such a great guy. Would love to get him on the channel. He and I are going to connect as well, just to kind of share war stories, and he's obviously just been wildly successful. So yeah, Elementary, my number 10.
Yeah. Aaron was a great dude. Met him at Gamma, and that was the first time I really had a chance to see Sea Beast live. And it was kind of funny because that was a story we shared after our Gamma of how Dillon shouted Sea Beast into my phone like 10 times. We were talking about, you know, Facebook and advertising. And then literally as I'm driving home from Columbus with Gamma, or Louisville from Gamma, the first thing I see on Facebook is an ad for Sea Beast. And no joke, we were joking about that story that night at the content creators event at Gencon, and I was telling him that story, and I'm not kidding. I took a picture. I was going to send it to you. The first ad that I had after Gencon was Sea Beast again, and I was like, oh my gosh, Aaron, dude, you live in my phone, man. But great guy. Sea Beast is wildly successful. And yeah, Elementary, the art reminds me a lot of A Place for All My Books by Smirk and Dagger. And it'll be interesting. It's getting a lot of press and a lot of hype. I know Dion's excited to get that one in the shop too. So it's a good number 10.
All right, Matt, hit us with your number 10.
All right. Well, again, since somebody didn't get there early enough for Gen Con, they missed some of the cool things that happen. And one of those things was a pre-event from Hachette Games, where we got a chance to get a copy of Tag Team Arthur's Legacy. And my son and I have been a big fan of Tag Team. This game actually sold out every single day at Gen Con. So obviously we were not the only ones who love Tag Team, but it's going to bring in a bunch of new players such as like Morgan, Merlin, the Dragon, Percival, the Green Knight. And what was cool at the party was they actually had Excalibur. And so you could try to pull Excalibur out of the stone. Jay from Bezier Games did it. I tried. Didn't work. That's all right. Don't have to be the chosen one all the time. But this game brings in a lot of like, they almost kind of joked that they were almost like broken type of characters. They said it plays best if you mix one hero from the first series with the second series and kind of blend them together. But this is an easy auto battler type of deck building game. You know, it doesn't take a lot. It's great to play with kids, and they have a lot of big plans for this. They just announced a partnership with SKN Games out of Japan, so you might see some like familiar video game characters seeping into the Tag Team world soon. But Scorpion Mosque, Hachette Games did a phenomenal job with this. Easy number 10 for me, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like they've got kind of an endless runway of characters and stories and IP that they can bring into that. Definitely a game I'd love to play. I'm looking forward to playing with you and Dillon one day.
Yeah. And honestly, this is also the kind of game where you could mix anything in here, kind of like Unmatched, you know, playing a dinosaur from Jurassic Park versus Moon Knight from Marvel. You really could, you know, expand this to anything and just make it thematic. So, like I said, big hit and great job.
Number 9 for me. This is one I'll get play out of consistently with my group. For those of you who don't know, I've got my group every few Sundays we get together. I got about 5-6 people. It was a big Catan group, big Ticket to Ride, Risk Group, and I've started introducing new games. QE's been a big hit for us, Puerto Rico, and now I've got my next one, which is going to be, and I've got it right here with me, Fight 5 by Chip Theory. Matt actually was the one who taught me this game.
I didn't get a commission either.
No, you didn't, but you're going to get a lot of joy and happiness from me. So you get paid in smiles and photos. And
they pay the bills.
Yeah. But in Fight 5, you have a set of cards face down on the table, and each player has also got their own set of cards in their hand, and each one in their hand has got a values tied to it. 2 through 11, and you're basically placing down a bid on these blind cards in the hopes to win that card and kind of add it into your deck, and that's kind of how you get your victory points. So if there's like a 12 face down, I'm going to probably try to bid pretty high on that, but I've got a limited number of kind of high cards in my deck, so I don't want to get outbid by like a 13 from my opponent over here. But you're also playing different opponents for different arms of the cards, so very simple to play. It's got a blind bidding component. I'm a sucker for anything that's a blind bidding component. If you make a blind bid, if you're a maker of a blind bidding component game, just reach out to me. Most likely I will buy it. And it just simply is easy to teach, great replayability, the color.
Great card, classic Chip Theory games, great card quality too.
Just great. I mean, I've got them here. You get it, like, it's heavy. Like this tiny box it's got some weight to it. The cards are great. Even just the artwork is very simple, but the colors, the kind of the designs they put, are just really fun. Chip Theory, again, as you said, they just do a good job. These are some great cards. Little nice finish on there, so I could go and play this at an establishment that maybe has beverages scattered around a table. That just that might happen in my day-to-day. So that's my number 9. It is Fight 5 by Chip Theory Games.
All right, Dillon, my number 9 is going to be a game that you could have potentially walked away with had you shown up on time.
Yeah.
Once again, I was at the Hachette party once again, and this game is going to be coming to us from Super Meeple. Unfortunately, we didn't get a copy because they are stuck in a port, and it made me very sad because this is one that I was super excited about, and it's called Mythologies. And I did walk away with a deity pack, a little promo pack that they gave us. The cards look absolutely fantastic. These are some of the foils. What this game is, you had mentioned you're a sucker for those types of games. I am a sucker for anything with deck building. That's why I like Tag Team. That's why I like Mythologies, or what I saw of it, what I played of it. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building your own pantheon. You're going to invoke gods, legendary creatures from cultures basically around the entire globe. So in the first set, I believe it comes with 8 different core cultures. It's going to be things like the Greeks, the Norse, the Egyptians, the Hindus, Zulus, and a few others. And I know that they fully intend to keep expanding this universe with expansions. And in this game, you're going to begin with a unique combination of 4 different mythologies. What's cool about this is basically you're going to start with over 70 different setup combinations for asymmetry mythologies. So there's a ton of replayability with this. In the game, what you're going to do is you're going to use your strength, your mental wits, if you will. And you're going to draft cards, you're going to invoke deities, you're going to activate special abilities, and you're going to complete divine trials. And what this does is it's all going to lead to an end. It's only 4 rounds long, so it's a very short game overall. And when you deploy your chosen beings into your Pantheon grid, you're going to manage resources, triggering synergies. So it's a big combo type of game. You're going to stack combos, as I just said. And at the end of it, it's going to come down to who can outwit their opponents, score the most points through the combos. And I personally am a big fan of those types of games. But again, what caught my eye the most when it was sitting on the table was, again, just the art, the aesthetics, the draft building faction of it. Anything Greek, Roman, old school mythologies, you're always going to catch my attention. And like I said, if you get a chance, look at the card art, because some of the card art looks absolutely fantastic for just kind of a normal, draft building building, deck building type of game. So great job to Super Meeple. Super excited about this one.
Well, I'm glad you brought in artwork and table presence as a concept for this game, because that is the reason that I have my number 8, actually.
Okay.
Which I believe is potentially on your list as well. So I'm just going to dive in. I know you didn't even ask me, but yeah, I'm going.
No, don't need to. You got it.
So I got there late, as Matt has alluded to numerous times.
A few times, yeah.
It won't be the last, is my guess either.
No, probably not.
He's like, Dillon, you got to come see this game with me. Big box game, so not really in my wheelhouse usually. Although I appreciate the complexity and like, as designing some games myself, like understanding how someone even comes up with these concepts is just blows my mind. Like when we played Galactic Cruise, it's like, how does someone's brain work this way? And this is very similar with my number 8, which is Trials of Maya. We did not get to play this game, so I will footnote that really quickly, unfortunately, because I struggle to think of a game that has the table presence that this game presented. It was stunning. The colors, the components, and just when we got like the quick pitch, it really seems like quite a modular game that has so many layers. And you had these just like beautiful figurines that work on a hexagon style tile, a hexagon style kind of board. And each one of these meeples, and I was actually talking to Aaron about this, and I was telling him about like the little suction cups that they had on the bottom to like hold them, because I think you've got quite a dynamic game moving on around this. And both of us were like, I don't think I've seen that as a componentry piece in a game. And so they've just really thought through this beautiful setup, that like bright red sweeping kind of almost like that marble-esque type of flow was really beautiful. And yeah, that like purely on table presence gives it my number 8 there, and something I'd love to like. I would love to sit down and actually play that game. And this feels like, and I went and did some research on the game afterwards. This feels like a Dillon classic. Like Dillon would love this game. I like in reading this, I was like, oh, this is Dillon through and through.
Yeah. Well, he did not like Cloudspire. In this game, if you're familiar with Cloudspire from Chip Theory Games, it did remind me a little bit of that. But I'm going to reserve my comments on it for a reason that may have to do with my top 10 list.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off.
Well, there's my 8. What do you got for us?
All right. So talking about design, one of the big names that has popped up a lot on our channel has been Dion's love of Thomas Hollick, famous, of course, for SETI, Tea Gardens, Galileo Galilei, Night at the Zoo now. But he has a new one coming out from our friends at Capstone Games. We actually had a chance to get a little behind the scenes at Capstone. So you would not have seen this on the Gencon floor, but it was being play tested. And that game is going to be called Carpet Racers by Thomas Hollick and Capstone Games. I really enjoyed this game. It's basically a chaotic racing game. And the cool part of this is, as you're playing cards, you don't know which car is actually yours. So you have to effectively, through playing movement cards, setting traps, gathering clues, you've got to kind of outmaneuver everybody that you're hanging out with to figure out which car is yours, so you can actually try to manipulate it to make sure your car wins the race. It was chaotic. It was silly. You got to have the right mindset. Somebody who's a control freak. This is a game I think Dillon would actually hate, because Dillon is all about, I don't want to play with other people. I want a solitaire experience. So this is a game for people who like games like Huddle, that like chaos, that like dice rolling, that like just silliness, and get into a game. They don't care if they win or lose. They just want to have a good time and rip on their friends and have a good time. And so this game with Carpet Racers is going to be coming out later this year. We're hoping to get a preview copy that we can actually play on the channel, because it was a little restrictive of what we could do in the media space for Capstone. But I had a great time with it. It's an amazing developer, and Capstone Games, one of my favorites. Got to shout them out again on this sweet hat. And I can't wait to get my hands on this one and play it with you guys.
How did I miss this game? This sounds like I want to play this right now.
Yeah. Well, again,
chaos.
had you been around, this was a Capstone special event that you could have been a part of.
Three times. I wonder how many times.
Let's have a counter on that.
I wonder how many times we'll mention this.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time show up on time, Big Cat, and then we don't have to have these conversations.
Well, I had to go to the Fantasy Football Expo the weekend before, and life also needs attention. So yes, unfortunately,
not when Gencon's here. Not when Gencon's here.
Gencon got a 50% attendance rate from me, so I apologize.
And so far, you've had a 0% attendance on any of my games because you weren't there. So, see if that changes.
I think it does change.
Okay. Well, let's see. What do you got next?
Well, it changes right now because I'm maintaining my theme of table presence. And this game, I did get to see a little bit more of like how it plays. And what an amazing centerpiece to a board. And the mechanic that goes into it was just really, really interesting. And once again, this is a game that you were like, you got to go see this game. And this is Monolith. What a amazing setup. I'm just looking through my notes to Plaid Hat Games. So in the game, you are basically fighting other kind of factions, other armies. And when you engage in that war, and if you are victorious and you slay your enemies, you take their hearts. And when you take those hearts, you take them back to the monolith and you drop them in the monolith. And there was 3 certain areas, and you lift the monolith, and then where those hearts land then helps determine some future actions in future phases of the game. What a cool, just physical component. Like I wiped out your army, I took the hearts, and now I'm putting them in this monolith. And the monolith is just very cool. Like you're talking like gives me kind of Mordor type vibes where you just kind of got this big kind of black spire in the middle of the board. So that was really cool. And I think you kind of talked about an idea you had, and you were like, wow, it'd be cool if you did this. And then they told you like, well, yeah, Matt, have you not seen the video with the dry ice piece? But yeah, really cool. I think that would be a fun game, especially if you've got more of a competitive group where you're really attacking folks. So yeah, that is Monolith by Plaid Hat Games is my number 8. And by my number 8, I meant that was actually my number 7. So obviously I'm great with math and sequential numbers, but yes, so that was Monolith.
Well, you were just doing New Zealand math. That's how you do it in New Zealand.
We do a plus or minus, and it doesn't really matter. So if we say 6, sometimes we mean 5, and sometimes we mean 7, and you just kind of roll with it. It's a pretty normal thing.
Yeah. All right, Dillon. My number 7 was a game that we did get a chance to play together. It was a game that I backed about 1.5 years, 2 years ago on Kickstarter or crowdfunding. It is coming out soon. I just got an email from them. It will be here soon. So it was fun to finally get my hands on it. And this game is going to be called Final Titan. So this is one that's being put out in connection with, I think we played at Restoration Games booth. Richard Garfield designed this, so it's going to have a lot. Nerd Lab Games also is the publisher on this. What this game is, super neat, super simple. If you like Kings of Tokyo, I think this is going to be a game that needs to be on your follow list. First thing is this. In the box comes over 100 Titans that you can play as. Every single Titan has unique abilities, strengths, weaknesses, attack, speed, power, all of it. So the number of components that come in the box is absolutely amazing. And just like Kings of Tokyo, if you played that game, you're going to have one person who's in the middle. They're the champion. And then everybody else who's playing can challenge that said Titan. How do you do it? You put your guy in the ring. They all have unique asymmetry powers that will coincide. They'll conflict. Every person playing is going to have some hidden cards in their hand. And so if I was going to challenge Dion with his character, my character, I put him out. And then if we want to play any cards that give us any special advantages or disadvantages, we can play them at that point that give them plus or minus strength, speed, whatever. People who are not involved in the fight, they can actually bid with their cards. So if I thought Dillon was going to win the fight, I could put one card down, or I could put all my cards down. And if Dillon wins the fight, I'm going to get a 100% return. So if I put down 2 cards, I would win 2 cards back. And so you're going to end up with 4 cards at the end of it. If you bid on me and I lose, kind of happened to Dillon, well, then you're going to lose your cards. And now you don't have those to strengthen yourself. So it's kind of a fun way to keep the people who are not involved in the fight engaged. Fights are real simple. Put the cards down, roll a dice. Whatever symbol shows up on the dice, that's going to trigger that effective ability. And then you're going to kind of just keep throwing punches at each other until somebody wins the fight. The winner stays, the challenger goes, and then it keeps cycling around. Each person drafts 2 Titans when they start the game. You can do up to 3 or more if you want to, depending on how long you want the game to go. But Dillon, we had a great time playing this. Simple, fun, silly, chirping at each other as we're fighting through the game as well.
Yeah, this was another. It's potentially on my list. Who knows? But yeah. You really screwed me on that game. You did. I bet everything I had on you to win. And then when you and I faced off, I had my 99 hit point move. I played my champion
Sandworm. Yeah, the Sandworm.
Yeah. And then that was awesome until you played your challenger in this case, which nullified all hit points for all 4 of the attacks to just 1. And then you proceeded to just dismantle me. So after I bet on you to win, then you crippled me down to nothing. And but I still loved it. It was great. That was really awesome. All right, well, that was interesting timing for your 7 because my 6 is also Final Titans. I had a blast playing this. And honestly, my 6 through 2, sorry. Honestly, 2 through 10 are all pretty interchangeable. But Final Titan, I had a great time playing that game with you. We got to play a full round, actually taught the game properly. We brought in another member from the convention too, so we had a proper 4-player game. I don't know how this would play as you get lower down. If you're 2-player, not sure. I think this is definitely a game if you've got 4 players, exceptional playing experience. But yeah, you kind of covered everything. It was fantastic. I'm excited for it to come out. I'm excited for you to get your hands on the copy. So next time I can make it up to Kalamazoo. That's another one that with tag team, kind of add that to the list of games. We got to play because I just had a blast playing it with you. So there you go. Final Titan is my number 6 as well.
Yeah, and I agree with you too, Dillon, in the respect of I don't think that I would have as much fun if I was solo versus my son or something like that. To me, the joy, we didn't get to draft during this game. It was just kind of everything was picked for you. But I think a lot of the interesting part of this game is the start of the game where you're drafting your Titans because you're kind of seeing what somebody else takes. And then as you're evaluating who to draft, you kind of have to make decisions on, do I want to focus on my own strength or do I want to focus on countering that person? Like I said, the Titan I had, it was all set up. It was just unfortunate for you that the Titan that they gave me was the perfect counter to your Titan. So if it's just a 1v1, that's all it is just, you went first, so I'm going to take the Titan to counter that guy. And it just it wouldn't be as much fun. But if there's 4 or 5 people playing, I think that would add a lot more interesting elements because you're kind of, you almost got to pick one person to counter and hope that their Titan is in there when it comes to your turn. They ask you, do you want to play or not? Yes, I do.
Yeah, and that betting component was genius. Absolutely genius. I wish sitting in the room when they kind of came up with that concept and then play tested it the first time. My guess is that first play test, they were like, oh, okay, this is in the game. Brilliant game. Yeah, really, really fun. And the replayability of that with 100 Titans has got to be exceptional because each combo 2 or 3 versus you, I can't imagine. You would have to play that game so much to even get remotely bored or tired or have the same experience.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So great number 6. And I think Dillon, you're gonna like my number 6. And I think I'm gonna steal some thunder from you for another pick as well. And that's going to be a game that won a Golden Meeple Award this year for Best Solo Game. Is getting a new edition variation because if you went to Gencon, there is unequivocally, no way you could have come out of it not knowing that 2026 was the year of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Over under on 200 people dressed as Carl and or Princess Donut that you saw alone. Over, easy. That was a low ball number. I should have went way higher. It would just, Matt Dinneman, Jeff Hayes, they were both there, the author, the voice actor. But this game, Dungeon Crawler Carl Unstoppable, is going to be coming out pretty soon. Renegade Games did a backer kit with this one, obviously a game playing off the John Clare Unstoppable mechanics. Great solo game. And as somebody who doesn't always have people around me to play because I don't have friends, as we've well documented in this show, it's always nice when you pull a fun, different type of deck building solo game out. That's exactly what Unstoppable was. I really like Unstoppable as a mechanic. It's basically a horde mentality. You're going to draw villains that you've got to face. You're using resources to draft better cards, to build your deck up, so that way as you fight through the enemies that come and the bosses that inevitably also come, you're able to better be prepared, use combos to try to eliminate as much as you can to thin the herd. Great type of mechanic in a game. But the theme was just kind of their world of sci-fi, and that's nothing against it. They did a nice job of trying to build a world. But this is a world that you know. This is a theme that you know. This is characters that you know. And so you're going to play as Carl. You're going to play as Princess Donut. So the neat thing with this is that you can play 1 or 2 player. So you can play as Carl. You can play as Donut, or 2 players can play as this as well. You're going to be fighting opponents that you know. You're going to play bosses that you've heard of in the book or read in the book. And so it's going to be right in line. So if you played Unstoppable, you like it, you're going to love this game. If you know of or really like Dungeon Crawler Carl and Unstoppable, it's an absolute must buy. And I'm going to guess that's a lot of you, because the backer kit crowdfunding did over $13 million. So it is the biggest one in backer kit's history. So a lot of you know this. And if you didn't get a chance to play it at Gencon, well, you were like most of us, because there was only 30 events. I just happened to have a little bit of an in, and we had a chance to talk to them and got a little bit of a taste of it. So great game. Cannot wait to get my copy. And when you finally get up here again, Dillon, that would be one I'm sure is going to be on the list you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, theme for me on this one is just so in line. Like, I love the books, read them and listen to them. Jeff, we're sorry if you happen to see this.
We're gonna save the story. That's a teaser for the Gencon video.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of like, I'm not I like deck builders, not my first go-to, but once you add in this theme, this goes way further up my list. So you did steal my thunder, but you didn't steal my thunder for right now for my number 5.
All right, Dillon. Well, what would be your number 5 then, since I apparently stole some of your thunder, but
okay. I'll forgive you. My number 5 takes me back. Some nostalgia. A game I would play a lot of in college, and it's just simple with friends. It's a new twist on Liar's Dice. I love Liar's Dice. Just a really good kind of just player interaction game. And the game is called Barkeep's Bones by Catalyst Game Labs on Kickstarter right now. I think the Kickstarter ended 2 days ago on August 6th. But it looks like they had a successful Kickstarter. And honestly, I'm not surprised, because the game, if you are a Liar's Dice fan and then you also enjoy like pirate themed games, you have an instant hit here. So they've taken the Liar's Dice concept. So you've got your 5 dice in a barrel, and the barrel component was like really high quality, really nice. Like, actually the entire game componentry was beautifully done. You had this nice player mat that then you would move. There'd be a centralized dice system as well, and you'd select dice that would then go onto a platform. That platform then changed how that dice would like impact your and other people's selections. Then on top of that, then you had these spells that came in the form of cards that you could then play at certain times. So after a bid was made, say Matt says 12 threes, I could actually then hand this card to him, and he would have to re-roll his hand, but keeping his bid. So you're really introducing some like some chaos, which, as we start to learn, I love a little chaos. So yeah, I think feeding into just the love of Liar's Dice for me with this mix, like they changed Liar's Dice enough to make a new game. And I think that's very impressive, and that's hard to do from a game design standpoint. And they did this really, really well. So this is a game that would get a lot of playtime for me and in my group. So
well, and they did a great job too with the art on the cards, the way that because Liar's Dice itself is just kind of a real basic old school game, and so you've got to do something to sell it. And I think the quality of the cups that they use, because that's such a tactile input that you have with it, having kind of the leather bound cups that come with it was nice, and the holographic foil cards that come with it. And again, as somebody who hasn't played a lot of Liar's Dice, as you knew playing that with me when we were playing, it was a late day. My brain was mush at that point. I was like, I just don't understand what's happening right now. But I really enjoyed the fact that you could manipulate so much. You could drop a card that would let me look under your cup, so I could kind of see why you made a bid that you did. You could play cards that would force people to like re-shake their cups up, which really screwed everything up. So I give them a lot of credit, like trying to gamify a old school classic to make it something new and a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, they did a great job. The quality was great too. So there's my number 5 for you.
All right, Dillon, we got to repeat here. Repeat alert. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Number 5 for me is going to be one that you've mentioned already, and that's going to be Trials
I got to steal your thunder.
And
yes,
you did steal my thunder, just like the Australians steal your thunder, right? Right? Isn't that some part of a song? Sorry. I'm going to move on from that one. Trials of Maya was one. In my pre-Gencon video, I listed something. I said number 1 was unknown game. And the reason I put that was this exact reason. Because whenever you go to these conventions, what makes them so special is just all the stuff that you don't even know is going to be there. You just complete unexpected, blow you away. You didn't even know it was a thing. And then you just walk across the booth and boom, there it is. And you're like, wow, this is why I come, because I would have never found it any other way. And Trials of Maya is that for me. This is a new game coming from a new group of people, Department of Lore. And I'm going to say this name improperly, and I apologize. Anand Gandhi and Zain Memon, I believe. Mr. Gandhi is who I met at the booth. And it was just basically, it was a play table. They didn't even have a booth at Gen Con. So if you were in the play hall, you were kind of over by like the Riftbound area and the Mechs and Minions area. That's actually how I found it. Saw Mechs and Minions, went and checked that out. And then I just happened to see this, and it was the board presence that you had mentioned earlier. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. I love MOBA games. In fact, right above me is Skytear. I'm all in on Skytear. I own every part of it. And so the first thing that they mentioned to me was, do you like MOBAs? And that's like Dota 2, that's League of Legends. I'm okay with them, but I loved Skytear. I loved the mechanics of it. I loved the heroes of it. And so it caught my attention. And so unfortunately, we never got a time back with Mr. Gandhi to where we could actually sit down and play it, but we're supposed to be getting a copy of this that we can play locally. And so this is basically a heavy deck driven game where you're going to use your deck building, because there is constructed in this. You do get all the cards beforehand if you back the Kickstarter, which I think is going now. And you're going to be fighting through 3 lanes. You're going to be coming across villains, just like a classic MOBA. You're going to come across some villains along the way. They're going to be fighting through the lanes. You can draft and you can recruit minions and villains to kind of fight with you as you're working your way across the board to try to attack your opponent. Very strategy based. It's a 90 to 120 minute game, so this isn't a short one, and you cannot have more than 2 copies of cards in your hand. I think the game comes initially with 9 heroes that you can choose from, with the intent that they're going to expand a lot. And that's kind of the thing with this. If you're familiar with Alpha Clash at all, Alpha Clash is a world that was a TCG, but it wasn't really that. They had comics, they were working on cartoons and movies and all this kind of stuff, trying to build a universe around it. And that's exactly what Trials of Maya is trying to do. They actually started with a book on Kickstarter that was actually very successful to kind of help build what this world of technology and species intertwining was all about. And the book itself, and this is probably Dillon, the neatest part of it, was Hugo Weaving, who you would know, who you would know from Agent Smith of The Matrix. You would know him as Elrond from Lord of the Rings. He's been in a bajillion things, like V for Vendetta is another example, but the guy's been everywhere. You know this guy. He did the voiceover work for the book, and he's a huge fan of it, and that really caught my attention. So they've got a book out already. They're working on kind of building a multimedia experience around this universe. And so step 2 was creating the game for Trials of Maya. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing growing into something bigger and bigger over time. But right now, if you're into MOBAs, you are a fan of Skytear, for example, I think this is one that you definitely want to keep your eye on. It is on Kickstarter or GameFound. I'm sorry. It's on GameFound now. And if you reserve right now, you get a free champion. But I'm hoping we get a copy. We can get it to the table, get it played, because aesthetically, it's one of the most beautiful games I've seen in a really long time.
You covered it all. Really interesting. And the book component was genius, in that you can tell that they're thinking beyond just a tabletop game, right? Like they're how do we create an immersive experience from this? So you've obviously got a great, very smart team behind this. So excited to check this out as well.
All right, Dillon, let's go back to you, Big Cat.
Well,
number
before
4.
we go to my number 4, Matt, I have a question for you, and a question for everyone to just think about whilst they listen to. Who is your Batman?
Christian Bale.
Okay.
He's my favorite.
So Christian Bale's mine now, because I mean, Dark Knight is a top 3 favorite movie of mine, but I've been a Batman fan going back. It was my parents watched it, but Christian Bale, yes, sure, we'll go with Christian Bale. But that leads into my number 4, which is Batman, the Enemies of Gotham City. But in this game, you're not playing Batman. You get to play all of the enemies. You get to play Joker. You get to play Two-Face. You get to play Penguin. You get to play all of the enemies that you rooted against for years and years and years. Some might say decades. You get to play them, and it's a worker placement game, which I do like. Worker placement's kind of falls into like my second kind of bracket of games that I really enjoy outside of like the bidding component, like auctions. And what you're doing is you're trying to place your workers as you kind of move through the city, but then Batman is coming in and stealing and taking these workers. So I think we've got some video of this, so we'll weave that in here. Mm-hmm. But just really quick.
They had easily the best booth, one of the best booths at Gencon.
And I just, talk about theme for me, with Dungeon Crawler Call. Like Dungeon Crawler Call is a new love. Batman is kind of my forever love. The Dark Knight series was just absolutely exceptional. I'm sorry about the new Batmans with Patterson. I can't remember his first name. It was fine. Like that? It was fine. It was fine.
It was different.
I'll tell you what was incredible was the Penguin series. If you have not watched, it's a single series show, just the Penguin. Top 5 shows I've ever seen. Absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Colin. No, Farrell. Oh my goodness, how am I forgetting his name? Colin. Wow, we're gonna get roasted in the comments for this one. I'm gonna get roasted.
We're not. You are,
Mr. Colin. I'm gonna look this up whilst you're doing yours. It does one of the most incredible, just character depictions I've ever seen. And there's an episode in that show that is just like an iconic, like all-time episode that kind of goes into, like, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, the Red Wedding. If you're a fan of like Schitt's Creek, the breakup scene. Like there are just these episodes that stay with you. Anyway, so now you get to play those characters. So yeah, thematically, this just hit really strong with me, and so that's why it's number 4. So yeah, Batman Enemies of Gotham City by Upper Deck Entertainment. It was brilliant.
Good job, Mr.
I'm
Colin.
looking it up right now. Colin Farrell.
My number 4 is going to be a repeat, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this one, but it's number 4 on my list, and that's from Plaid Hat Games, and that's going to be Monolith. The Monolith, if you're looking it up on Board Game Geek. Table Presence caught my eye. Now, if you know Plaid Hat, they're really well known for adventure type of light, D&D light type of games. You've got Forgotten Waters, you've got Freelancers, you've got Wandering Galaxies. They really carved a neat niche out. Last year, they were Super Pet Auto Battler, the kind of big switch of type of games. They've got Ascension games now. Plaid Hat came to play this year with Gencon with the Monolith. If you get a chance, look up the video. In fact, Badre, our sweet editor, maybe he'll throw in the trailer video that they have. I took some video, but their trailer video looks amazing, because my idea for Donald Schultz, who's a friend of the channel, put some dry ice in there and have the smoke coming out. And he's like, we already did that in the trailer. And I'm like, of course you would, because it would be awesome. It's a dark, gritty world. In fact, one of the requests that Donald had when they were coming up with the game and finalizing it was, I don't want any colorful pieces on this board. I want everything dark. I want it red, blood, gross. And so somebody snuck some some blue in there on him, and it kind of ticked him off initially. Then they're like, too much black. We got to have something that's not black. And he's like, I guess this dark blue will work. But he wanted it to be gritty, because it's a game of war. It's a game of destruction. It's a game of defeating and fighting and battles. And as you said earlier, you're taking people's hearts, and that heart becomes the currency that you drop into the Monolith. That then falls into one of 3 categories. It's going to give you your actions for future rounds. So this game is really controlling area. It's fighting. It's aggressive. So if you don't like that type of game, it's not going to be anything you are interested at all. But for those of us who grew up on games like Risk and, it was all about area control and battles, the Monolith is wonderful. It doesn't seem like it's going to be overly complex, which also really got me excited. But this really is going to be a 3 to 4 player game. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I'm super excited for this one. Hope to get a copy of it so we can play it on the channel. But Monolith number 4, Plaid Hat Games.
I've got 2 buddies who are back on the West Coast, and whenever I'm with them, we play Risk. We have a little wine, little steak, and we play Risk. I want to bring this to the next as kind of a surprise to them. Just be like, all right, I know we play Risk, and we love Risk. It's great. Let's try this. I think this will be an absolute hit, because just the physical action of taking your opponent's hearts and putting them in the Monolith as you just stare them dead in the eye, just is going to be so satisfying. Really excited for this one again.
All right, you ready for your number 3 there?
I am, and you stole my thunder for number 3. It almost made my number 2.
Did I again?
It almost made my number 2, but you won't have stolen my thunder for number 2, so I'm happy about that. But number 3 is, of course, since we went to Dungeon Crawler Con 2026, it had to be the Dungeon Crawler Call Unstoppable game. Thematically, just so aligned. I get to then take the experience and the whole world that Matt built, that I've populated in my head, and now physically get to enjoy. Right? That is very rarely. I actually can't think of another experience where I've had that type of fandom that's transcended multiple verticals. Actually, there isn't one. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I think, you've got Batman, you've got some of these, but this really seems like that you're playing more into this dungeon world, and as you were saying, the crowdfund was just wildly successful, unbelievable levels of detail. Renegade Games just one hand over fist there. So I'll keep it short. It was theirs
to lose easily.
You did a very good recap there. So, but my number 3 is Dungeon Crawler Call Unstoppable. If you are a fan of Dungeon Crawler Call, if you're a fan of deck builders, if you're a fan of Unstoppable, you just put this as like must play next to your ever expanding list that I'm sure all of those folks have. So there we go. Number 3. Matt, what do you got for us?
For me, my number 3 is going to come again, another Thomas Hollick game and another one from Capstone Games. And this is going to be Night at the Zoo, which I think had to be one of the biggest sellers at Gencon this year. And this is not normally a game that I get super into. It's a tile placement game. It is all about helping these critters get back to their homes before anybody sees them. So you can have cheetahs helping penguins and, all these kind of, because we're in the animal phase of board games right now. There's animals everywhere. But it was amazing when I was talking to Justin at Capstone Games. As I'm literally standing there talking to him, I watch an entire table of Night at the Zoo get snatched up by people. They sold like 1,500 games, I think, day one. And the expansion sold out. Like, they just have no more copies of it. And thankfully for them, they were able to run back to Cincinnati, get some more copies of Night at the Zoo. They brought them back to Indianapolis so they could sell some more. And then they sold out again on Sunday for the second time. So from what I understood, they sold over 3,000 copies of the game. And so, like I said, people are really, really liking it. But again, it's a much lighter game by Thomas Hollick, who, literally just announced Kingdom Come Deliverance, which has got to be like a 4 on the weight scale. And so now he's got Carpet Racers and Night at the Zoo, which are both like 1 and 2s on the weight scale. So this is just, again, you like those lightweight tile placement, building up a path for your animals to get back, simple scoring mechanic for win conditions. This is probably one that you're really going to like. It's a lot fluffier than a lot of the games I tend to like, and Capstone seems to have hit just an absolute another home run with this, and of course Thomas Hollick just kind of adding to his success story. So number 3 for me, Night at the Zoo, Capstone Games.
Well, you didn't steal my thunder for my number 2, and my number 2 is a game we have spoken about a few times on the channel. We've actually been very fortunate enough to have the owner of the publishing company on the channel as well. So if you haven't seen us meet with Kirk from Smirk and Dagger, you should absolutely go check that out. He's one of the most generous, kind, brilliant people in this space. His story is wild. I've been a small indie publisher for 2 years working my day job, and I'm like, wow, I can't do this for much longer. And then we met with Kirk. He's like, I did that for 14 years, Dillon. And I was like, okay, I will sit down and shut up. And he's just released hit after hit after hit, and his most recent game, hell of a deal. Speaking of games that sold out, I think he sold out twice as well. Matt, were you saying that? Yeah.
So, I sold out another one that just they could not. And I'm gonna take credit on our behalf that obviously it was our interview and everything we did with Kurt that really boosted the awareness of it. So you're welcome, Kurt.
You're so modest. It was definitely not the hard work and effort that he's gone into building his community.
He's the best. Like Kurt is genuinely one of the best presenters. I mean, that's what got us when we were, because Enthroned won the best 2-player game for the Golden Meeple Awards, and Kurt literally, like when he was getting his award, like we saw it in the table presence of Hell of the Deal, just utterly blows you away. His presentation, my gosh, it's one of the best presentations. So succinct, 2 minutes. I felt like I understood what was going on. He had a fun tagline at the end of it. And it's not a game for the faint of heart. Like we've played it quite a bit with the copy that we got, and we lost and we lost and we lost, and we realized it's not a joke. You have to cheat a lot in the game. There's the cheating options that you have to see cards, to table talk, to help each other out. If you do not do those things, you are going to lose like we did. It wasn't until we really understood, because we're just sitting here poker guys, right? Like we're playing Texas Hold'em. simple game. Like you play. But if you're not using the cheat codes, the cheat abilities, and risking a little bit on the line to do so, you are absolutely going to lose. And it wasn't until we figured that out that we were able to finally make it through a run.
Yeah, I've only been able to play segments of the game, and I can't wait to get my group back. One, you guys playing next time we're up in Kalamazoo, but I've got my group of friends, my non-board gamer friends who helped a lot with Huddle. This is a game for them. And honestly, we've got our fantasy football draft coming up in end of August. I might have to take it there because, one, we're doing it in Vegas, and two, this is a game. If you've got a group of friends who are not big gamers, but you want to spend time playing games with them, you couldn't ask for a better gateway game, because you're bringing in this like Texas Hold'em. So if they're interested in gambling, or they do kind of any type of betting and work, which is, you know, obviously getting much, much larger, you've got a smash hit here. And then you can then weave this into like, well, you like this, or here's some other games. Table presence, the mechanics, the components, like such high quality, my goodness. I think it's the only game I've ever seen, the second most heavily weighted game in terms of like use of poker chips in the market, only second to Huddle, obviously. Yeah, it's great. It's Kirk, you're my hero. Well done.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great number 2. Dillon, I hope to strike gold like you did for my number 2.
Oh,
you like
I know what
you like
it is.
that? So this is, you know, Dillon, you and I were big fans. We walked away from Bitewing games at Origins. Games like Moitura, Azure, 2 new games that they had. Bombastic was a great little pocket game. And we really enjoyed our time with Bitewing games at Origins. And so when I was at their booth this time, I was looking for a new game that they have coming out soon. That's going to be, I think, on crowdfunding now. But what caught my eye was one that was sitting in front of me available for purchase, and that is going to be Gold Country. So Gold Country is kind of a California Gold Rush type of game. It's a Reiner Knizia game, which obviously if you have played any board games, you are very familiar with the name Reiner Knizia. Basically, this is kind of a redesign, refresh of an old game called Spectaculum that he did with Bitewing. And effectively what you're going to do is you're going to buy and sell shares in growing gold mines. It's about exploring these maps, trying to find these pieces. This table presence of this game is fantastic. But one of the, ironically, the most interesting parts of this game, obviously for me, the financial side of it, with all the buying and selling of equity and the gold mines and everything, that caught my attention first and foremost. But the other thing is, and I don't have all of it down here with me, I wish I did, the deluxification of this game.
You are such a sucker. Hey, for all board game publishers out there, just make it as nice as possible, and Matt will buy it. You love it. You love it.
Yeah. Well, and it's just it. So the deluxe came with these gold pans.
I love it.
I mean, these are metal. Like when you held my bag for me for a second with all the deluxe, you're like, what is in here? And I was like, oh, no big deal. Just my gold pans, which are pure metal. And then, of course, my metal coins, because you can't have cardboard going in a metal pan. And then it came with like a kerchief that you put over your mouth. Sure, you know.
Great.
Throw it in there.
When you had it, and like, yeah, you took it, but like before you took it on there, we sat down to play a game at one point right after you bought this, and you threw it on like my bag. And I remember like hearing it, I was like, is that a game or a set of bricks? Like, my goodness, like the weight of that thing. And you know, I like something chonky, so I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like this is great.
Exactly. And like I said, I mean, I really like games like Kuntahora, where by CGE games, where you have to manipulate market currency values to impact what you can get out of different resources. And that's a lot of what you can do here. So you're going to draw and place company tokens. You get, like I said, you get to manipulate through stock market manipulation. Again, that just kind of fits with what I do for a living, of being in the equity space. And so anytime a game has any sort of equity market experience to it, that always kind of, like I said, catches my attention, because it's what I do all day long. So with that said, this was just completely unexpected. It wasn't one that I was even aware of heading into it. And again, this is the kind of stuff I love, Reiner Knizia. And so the game is Gold Country from Bitewing Games. Go check it out.
All right, Matt, we're here. Number one.
This is it. I gotta make sure I don't have any piss stains. I put the arms up and I'm like, oh, but
you're good. You're safe. You're safe.
Okay, good.
That's why
I'm sweating, waiting to hear what your number one is. Because do we have the same number one?
I'm going to assume so, and I'm going to explain why it's my number one. I'm not going to say what it is, and then I would like you to bring us home. This is my number one because this was the most fun experience I had at Gencon. Bar a little bit of Saturday night playing ping pong. That was also pretty awesome.
Trophysmack guys right there.
Yeah, although like Matt did, I mean, that guy's got the competitive streak like I haven't really seen outside of like professional athletes. So, but what a fun board game experience. Now, did it help that we had the designer teaching us the game with an absolutely destroyed voice and he still just powered through? Yes. Did it help that we had a supporting crew that was leading chants for the two groups playing against each other? Yes. Did it help that they put on such a spectacle that there was like 3 rows of people, maybe 4 rows of people watching and just waiting to come play this game? Yes. And it's such a fun theme, a theme that I knew nothing about probably a month ago, and now I've since watched the movie, and I hadn't played the original either, and now I've played the original, and it's just such a great evolution from that. And this is a game I can play with my group. I think anybody can play, regardless of how heavy you like games. Like this game play. It's really fun. It keeps people involved. You've got some really interesting twists and turns throughout the game that can mean like if you're falling behind, you can make it back pretty rapidly. So that is why this game is my number one. And Matt, I'll let you announce the number one for us both.
All right. So this is the second time in Champions of Tabletop history where our number one game was number one at both Origins and Gencon.
Yeah.
Do you know the other game that was the only one that can hold this title?
That was one at Origins and Gencon. I know of a game that was number one for Origins, but
it was also number one for Gencon.
Was it number one for Gencon?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was number 2 for Gencon.
Oh, was it? Oh, God, you should have got a little better.
No, you went number 2 for Gencon.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I lied. I don't even remember my own history.
Waleed's got me. He's got me.
Maybe we'll have Waleed on as permanent member on the show soon. So this is, of course, going to be...
You can replace me.
No, not replace you. Add to you.
What an upgrade.
But K-pop Demon Hunters Battle for the Spotlight. Number one at Origins, number one at Gen Con, and it's simple. What is the purpose of a board game? I think if you ask yourself that question, then it answers what you think is going to be number one. For me, it's, can I play this with friends and family? Can I actually get it to the table without spending 45 minutes to an hour setting up, without 2 hours explaining it to somebody? Is there a place for that stuff in my collection? I mean, if I showed you my board games, you'd say obviously there is. But for me, the games with young kids that get to the table are things that I can play, explain in 3 minutes, and have a good time with. And K-pop Demon Hunters fixes the biggest problem I have with one of my favorite games of all time, which is Love Letters. Love Letters is easily one of the best games ever made. It's simple, it's concise, a couple rounds, you have a good time, you put it away, easy put away, 30 cards in the whole set, you're done. Well, the biggest problem I have with Love Letters is that if somebody plays a card, say the guard, they get to pick. And if you're holding the card that they pick, you're just out of the round. And what I've always noticed is when somebody gets knocked out, especially early in a round, rounds may last like 3 to 5 minutes. That person, what do? They pick their phone up. They become diverted with attention. Kids, what happens when they get knocked out? They walk away from the table because they're bored. And then when the next round starts and you say, hey, come on back, round's over, what happens? Oh, I don't want to play anymore. I'm now doing something else. I've moved on. And then you never finish a game. And so what Waleed and I can't pronounce the other guy's name, but Waleed and his partner, they fix love letters because instead of now getting eliminated, what happens is you're just fighting for the love of the fans. So in a position where in love letters you get kicked out of the game, in this game, all that happens is the negative consequences. You're fighting for the favor. And the more favor that you get, the more win conditions that you meet. And therefore, you're playing up to a total of 5 victory points. And in this game, it just does an amazing job of making love letters cooperative. It does a phenomenal job of working the theme of the characters of K-pop Demon Hunters into the game. And like I said, the flavor of it is so perfect. As you said, Asmodee did an amazing job of having the people doing the chants and, a couple rows deep of people watching when we were playing the demo on the floor, and just the fun everybody was having. And to me, that's what board games are about, is having fun with people. This game absolutely crushed it. The experience was amazing. We had an awesome time with Waleed there. He's just such a good guy that you want to see him succeed. He's now at Z-Man Games. And so to me, it's just, you walk away and it's like, 1, Waleed, when are you coming on the show? Yeah. 2, when am I getting my copy? And 3, when are we going to play? Like, that's the only questions I had with this. No brainer, number 1.
Yeah, it's you asked the question at the beginning, like, what is it? For me, it's fun. All right, like, I play games to have fun. I play games to just not detach from my regular, like, working life. And this is a casual, and like, this is one I could play. I can play with you and Dillon. I can play with my group here who's gamers. I can play it with the like, it's just, it transcends. And I think that's very, very rare. So easy number 1 for me.
Yeah. So Dillon, wrapping this up, we've listed our list, but viewer, sweet, dear viewer who's made it this far, 1, God bless you. You are an amazing soul. Yeah. You'd be even more amazing though if you hit the like and subscribe button, but leave a comment below. What did you walk away from at Gen Con that you thought should have been on our list or would have been on your list? What did you experience that you thought was fun? Leave it below. We'll comment. We always respond to comments. We're very engaged with the people who support us, so feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, really tell us what you liked, and let's hear your list for Gen Con. And Dillon, it's always a pleasure when we get a chance to hang out. It's never enough. And one of these times we're going to get you on a schedule where you get to things early and stay late and get to be a part of it all with us. So, and most importantly, to all of you, thank you for the time. Thanks for making it this far in the video. And we'll have our next video will actually be the recap of Gen Con, where we kind of go through the videos and kind of share some of the stories that we've alluded to today. So please check that out. And with that said, Dillon, great Gen Con. Love hanging out with you.
Yep.
And champions never
stop
playing. You weren't ready for it. Oh my God. All right. Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.